Who's ready for some Islander hockey? I know I am. Saturday night is always my favorite night for hockey. Ever since I was a little kid, Saturday night was always special to get the NHL on TV. So we didn't get it very often when I was a kid. So Saturday night's always been special for me. Welcome to Canadian Islander fan. Really pumped for this game tonight. The Islanders are starting to look a little better than they had at the start of the season. Right now, we're currently sixth in the Metro at 4-2-2, but we're playing the Jets tonight, who are second in the Central at 6-2-2. Just a warning to Islander fans: do not underestimate this team. This team is good, even though they're from the weak Central Division. They're still a very solid team. We're going to want to stay out of the penalty box tonight, as the Jets are a third in the league at 29%. So we want to stay out of the box there for sure. Normally, I would say we need to keep an eye on Scheifele and Wheeler, which we do, but the man who's dealing the real hot hand right now is Kyle Connor with 8 goals and 8 assists for 16 points. So he's basically on fire right now. So it's going to be a tough game for us for sure. Face-off percentages are fairly even, hits are fairly even, and block shots are pretty close to being even between the two teams. I've got a feeling we're going to get Varley tonight, so looking forward to see Varley in his first start. If not, and it's Sorokin, well, I'm good with that too. So pretty excited about tonight's game. It's a big one for us. We need to keep winning because we're still down in the Metro, but even though with our games in hand, it's still nice to get back into the thick of things. You can start to see that both conferences, both the Metro and the Atlantic, the cream is now starting to rise to the top, where the teams that we expect to make the playoffs are starting to make their way up to those positions right now. So anyway, I'm really excited for some Islander hockey tonight. So looking forward to it, and we shall see you in between the first and second period. Well, certainly can't be disappointed with that period. Islanders 1, Jets nothing. Great road game for the Isles, starting out playing a great defensive structure during that period. I thought the Isles looked really good. Lots of jump in their step tonight. And happy to see the first line looking a little better tonight. I still think they can look better, even though they're the ones that scored the goal. But yeah, it's nice to see them playing well, and the third line's playing with so much energy out there. They're looking really good. Ilya looking strong again. I thought maybe Varley might get the start tonight, but I guess this makes sense, because if Varley has a rough go in the first game, you don't want to have to play Sorokin tomorrow night and then right away the next night. So at least this way you'll get Ilya some rest for the next game, and he's looking solid out there. Not much to say bad about the team in the period. Chera got us hemmed in once there with a couple of miscues. The fourth line got hemmed in right at the very start of the very first shift of the game. But other than that, they've looked absolutely solid. The whole team's been flying out there. I did say at the start that special teams, we needed to stay out of the box, which we did, which is good, because Winnipeg's got the third best power play in the league. However, they had the 31st worst penalty kill in the league. So we've just pulled off 20 seconds of the power play, so we still got another minute and 40 to work with in the second period. I gotta say, I was a little suspicious of that clock guy in Winnipeg. It was 21 seconds left in the period when we started the power play. Winnipeg won the draw. The guy shot the puck directly over the glass, and somehow 4 seconds went off the clock, and there's no way it took 4 seconds for that to happen, not even close, maybe 2. And then he got the clock was wrong again on the last play, when with the offside, and they had to recorrect it, because this guy, a little suspicious. I don't know if anybody remember this, but back in the day, I believe it was a guy in Montreal. He actually got caught. He used to bet people whether the Canadians would score on an odd second or an even second, and he was making a lot of cash off it because he controlled the clock. All he had to do is let 1 second go the other way. Geez, that was a long time ago. That must have been back in the 70s. But yeah, so anyway, we open the score, and the captain, Anders Lee, gets on the board for us. parked in the slot there. No doubt the guy deserves most credit on that goal, though. It's definitely Barzell. He was in there, made the pinch. I was a little bit surprised he didn't get an assist on the play, but it bangs around back there, and could have been a Winnipeg stick that Bailey got the puck from. Bailey makes a nice pass out to Anders, standing all alone, and Comrie, I don't even think saw the puck coming. So yeah, that's a big, huge advantage for us. I didn't know Hellebuck was actually sick with the flu. So Comrie's playing on back-to-back nights. And so that's a huge advantage for us. The biggest advantage is that Hellebuck's not even in the net. So that's our biggest advantage right there. I think we have another advantage that the Jets actually played the Hawks last night. And if you don't watch much of the Jets hockey, Jets are very similar to Toronto in style. They're a high flying, fast moving, talented scoring team with a great goaltender. So defense is a little bit similar. I'd probably give the defensive side to the Jets over the Leafs. But so anyway, after last night, they were just basically freewheeling all over the place. And then all of a sudden to go from that into playing the Islanders where there's no space, you can already see the frustration in the Jets players' faces. Islanders are on top of them as soon as they get the puck, and they've got nowhere to go. So yeah, looking really good there. And right now the Jets don't have an answer for the Isles, but great period to be up 1-0 after one for sure. Looking for even better play in the second, maybe a little more offensive, even though we did outshoot the Jets 9-7. And once again, I thought the Winnipeg guy was pretty generous to the Jets in their shot giving. So oh well, no big deal. Those are only statistics. Only helps in fantasy hockey. So yeah. So yeah, anyway, it's a good start. It's promising. We need to win that first one in a back-to-back. It always makes the second one so much easier. So looking forward to seeing everybody in between the second and third period. Let's go Islanders. After 2 periods, it's Islanders 1, Jets nothing. Wow, what a great road game by the Isles. You have to be pretty happy with that second period. I mean, the structure on this team is just amazing. It actually really kind of blows my mind. It's, for a lot of people that don't know what structure is and stuff like that, a lot of it's a system, a lot of it's details, but it's consistently doing it all at all times and always knowing where you're going to be going, no matter what the situation is. And I just can't help but notice, like, these teams, when they're rushing up the ice after they've beaten our first wave, the second wave is right there. And if they're fortunate enough to get past our second wave, they have to deal with the first wave again because they're all back. I got to talk about Zach Parise in this intermission here. Wow, what a game this guy has had. He has been unbelievable. He's had 3 great scoring chances. He's making things happen in the offensive zone. I saw this one time where they were breaking out against us 3-on-2, and Parise just like he kind of looked like Flash as he was coming up the ice, and before they got past the blue line, it was a 3-on-3. It's just little details like that over and over again. And one guy I really want to talk about that I think is just so underrated on this team is Andy Green. Guy is playing some fantastic defense. He looks like a kid out there again. And he's been solid all year for us. And speaking of solid, Adam Pelech, how is it possible? How is it possible that the best defenseman in the NHL has no chance of winning the Norris Trophy? It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Make some trophy for the high scoring Foxes and things like that. Do whatever you want. But yeah, Pelech's by far the best defenseman in the league. Watching him, it just breaks up everything. You had to like Scotty Mayfield coming up to defend Nelson off after that hit. I would have much preferred it been Chara who took the took the major, but Chara showed his worth in the scrum there. There was yeah, nobody, not even Lowry wanted to have anything to do with him, that's for sure. And Ilya, is there any reason this guy can't play 82 games this year? Like, seriously, why not? Records are made to be broken. There's never been a goaltender play 82 games. So I don't see why Ilya can't. Let me see. What else was there in that period? Well, I thought the Islanders as a whole just had a really excellent period. So yeah, it was great. They keep this up. We should end up with the W in this one, but either way, it's just been a great road game by the Islanders, up 1-0. Anders scoring the goal in the first period. I believe Winnipeg is the place that he scored his first goal, if I remember it. Wrist shot just coming over the blue line. I think that was his first game too, if I remember. So Anders with the only goal, hit way back in the first period, and I think we're controlling the game. I really do. Sorokin's made some really nice saves, and we got lucky on an unfortunate bounce, but on my version, they said it just hit the crossbar. I saw Ilya actually get it with the shoulder and roll onto the crossbar. So even a bad break couldn't get Ilya off guard tonight. And yeah, he's just been outstanding. So if you're lucky enough to break through our system, we've got Sorokin just waiting there for you. And one thing I should say, I did say about Sorokin playing 82 games. People who know me, I'm a huge Varley fan. So that tells you just what I think of Sorokin. I'm so happy to have Varley in the fold. I want to keep both of them forever. In my opinion, people keep talking about, oh, well, we should trade Varley, get something for Varley. 5 million on the cap we could use in that. Well, you know what? Varley and Sorokin are $9 million. Carey Price alone is more than that. And Vasilevsky is more than that. So, 9 million is definitely in the Islanders' budget. So I say keep these guys forever. So overall, really happy with the period. Let me see. I talked about Dobson looked really good too. I thought really well, but that's just him and Andy Green both looking good. The fourth line's been really good. The third line's been fantastic. The first line, they're still not really clicking, but this is probably the best game between Bailey, Barzell, and Lee. Maybe close, but I think so. And the second line's looking good out there too. So, it's just showing once again how defense can shut down a good offense. I shouldn't be counting my chickens before they hatch here. We still got a period to go, but yeah, pretty happy with what I seen out of the boys in that second period. So we need to play last year's third period hockey. I guess we've been doing it this year in the last 6 games too as well. So yeah, just play typical Islanders hockey. Make sure to come out of this game with a point. That's first and foremost. The win would be fantastic. So let's just play some Islander hockey, and we should come out of it walking with that win. Yeah, boys look great tonight, really do. Lots of energy from them. That's what I really like to see out of an Islander team, is energy. It's like Winnipeg doesn't even know what hit them. It is like I watched the Winnipeg Chicago game last night, and they were freewheeling. They looked just like the Leafs, and that they got zero room out there tonight. That's not to say that Winnipeg couldn't come back and win this game, because they could, but it's definitely a shock going from the Chicago Blackhawks to playing the New York Islanders in a 24-hour period. All right, so guess I'll see you after the game. Hope I'm as happy as I am now. All right. See you then. Yes. Oh, nice win by the Islanders. What a fantastic road victory. Islanders win 2-0 over the Jets, handing the Jets their first home loss of the year against a team 6-2-2. And, this is a good hockey team, the Winnipeg Jets, but the Islanders made them look really bad. And it just goes to show you the old axiom: defense beats a good offense, and it does. And wow, what a team game by the Islanders tonight. Huge for us. Now we go to 5-2-2. Gives us 12 points on this road trip. And basically, we only need one more point in the next 4 games to be equivalent to NHL 500. So obviously, we want to be a lot better than that. But boy, I'll tell you, with the Islanders packing behind 13 games on the road behind them and 41 out of 69 games at home, I got to say things are going to look bright for the Islanders as the season goes on here. Uh, I thought I was watching the old New York Islanders of last year, just maybe a little better with a few additions that make us even better than what I think last year's version of the Islanders will be. I think this year's version is going to be a better version, and that's pretty high praise, I guess. But I really think they will, because they just, watching them out there tonight, I was looking at the team and they're so veteran poised. Unbelievable how well poised they are. And you can just see it out there. They just control and dominate what's going on out there. And it was a thing of beauty. It's easy to do podcasts when everybody's playing so well, but in the third period, we go into it and we're playing Islander hockey once again, and things are looking good. Fourth line sets the tone to start the period. I watch the fourth line. I go, yeah, this is going to be a good third period. And it certainly was. You had to know that the Islanders were going to get a penalty without them getting one in the game. But I got to tell you, that's just a thing of beauty, when you got the third best power play in the league and you don't give them the opportunity. So that's all on the team. Of course, you need a little help from the rest to be able to do that too. But if you're not doing anything blatant, then things are good for you. So one power play a piece, I'll take that every time, especially way I'm hoping our power play is going to improve this year, but it's hard to remember the last time we had a good power play, so I don't exactly have my hopes up high. But anyway, into the third period we go, and Brock Nelson makes it 2-0. And once it goes 2-0, it's basically game, set, and match right there. And it's our hottest goal scorer. It's Brovember hitting her again and scoring his 7th of the year. So Brock is hot. He had numerous opportunities out there tonight, but I guess Adam Pelech heard me in between intermissions. I don't know how he could, because I hadn't even processed the video yet. But I said Pelech can't win the Norris without getting the points. So what does Adam do? He goes, "Oh, you mean you need to make points to win that trophy?" So what does he do? He makes just a fantastic pass out to Paul Mary, and Paul Mary just makes a beauty give and go with Nelson on that. It was a sweet goal. Nice to see Adam getting rewarded with that, because he had a whale of a game. And I guess I'll start talking about all the players now individually. So since I was going to rave in the first part about this, but Ilya Sorokin, I said it earlier, can he please play 82 games? And I love you, Varley. I really do, man. But wow, Gumby, he is something. I'll tell you. I on a message board, I've always called him Gumby because he reminds me, for the old people, there's an old puppet figure called Gumby, Stretchy, and the way he does those splits and that reminds me of Gumby. So, but anyway, Ilya posts his 3rd shutout of the year, makes some fantastic saves once again, but always in control. He looked so confident out there. 3rd shutout, and hard to believe, could have been his 5th shutout of the year if we had played half decent. We've only played 9 games. Think about that. I mean, gave up a shutout with 26 seconds left in a game. And then the last game that should have been a shutout, and we kind of, as a team, let him down there from getting the shutout. Ilya has been absolutely outstanding, and he's single-handedly winning me games. I'm in 2 fantasy keeper leagues, and Ilya is winning the goaltending categories for me all by himself. So thanks, Ilya, buddy. I always had faith in you. I drafted you in 2014. I remember it. I knew you were going to be great. So yeah, great game by Ilya. All right, so let's go to the first line here. I thought Anders had a much better game tonight. He just looked more Anders-ish, making quicker passes, scored the goal, which obviously is a great sign too. Great release there. But his board battles and his passing just seemed to be more like Anders Lee looked last year. So really happy with Anders' game tonight. And Bars, I thought, had a pretty good game too as well. So nothing spectacular and still a little bit below his norm. I'm beginning to wonder if Bars is taking over the crown from Everly as the goalpost crossbar king, because he had a beauty opportunity there to put that game away, but done her off posts there right off the crossbar, but still he was looking good. And Bailey had a good game too as well. So that's probably why the first line looked a lot better today. They were a little more in sync. So overall, fairly happy with all three guys' games for what you can expect out of them in that. Going to the second line, well, Brock's keeping his hot hand. Looks great out there. It looks so confident. And you know, the Brock of old, I mean, let's face it, he got laid out. And right after that, he gave a strong, hard hit only about 10, 15 seconds after he received one. So the old Brock probably would have shied away, and that would have been the last you seen of him in the game for the night, but not this Brock. This is a different Brock. This is a composed man who's got a lot of talent and is a great Islander for sure. Love having him on our team. I've got him on one of my fantasy teams as well. So nice game by Brock. I thought Bo started, he had a hard time getting going in this game, but it was funny because he had opportunities really early in the game, but he just was either too slow or flubbed something or whatnot. But as the game went on, he progressed, and his speed was fantastic throughout the game. So, and he had a couple of good scoring opportunities as well. So both Brock and Bo having good games. And Kyle Palmieri, I thought, had another fantastic game. What a fantastic pass on the goal to Brock. That was a thing of beauty, that give and go. And Kyle had a lot of scoring opportunities tonight. So he's a little bit bitten right now, but you know the old saying, and Barry will say this too, as long as the opportunities are there, I'm not worried. And I'm not worried about Palmieri because he's been playing some great hockey. So the whole second line was fantastic, and I can say the same thing about the third, but really sticking out to me tonight once again was Zach Parise. I talked about earlier on that back check he made on a 3-on-2 to make it an easy 3-on-3 was just amazing. And he was constantly always around the net, winning every battle along the boards, and had some great scoring opportunities in this game. Once again, a little bit snake bitten as well, but hey, if the opportunities are there, they're going to come. And I thought Pager had a good game. I think it's well known that I thought the Pager started this season a little slow, but I starting to see in the real Pager starting to come on. So that's a good sign. And I was always a big proponent of wanting Wally on the first line because I thought that would just be a rock solid first line in that. But I got to tell you, I think Wally is just a fantastic fit for Parise and Pajot. He's the young muscle, and he's now winning most of his board battles, and he's got some slick hands, and he can pass and he can shoot. We all know he can shoot. But that line just seems to be gelling so well together that I would be scared to take Wally off there to put him on the first line now. I really like what I'm seeing out of the third line. And the fourth line, we can go right across the board with Matt, Clutter, and Casey. All three played a typically great identity line style kind of game. They definitely shut down Winnipeg. And like I said, Winnipeg is a good team. Winnipeg is a good team, but we made them look very average tonight as a team. We shut them down as a team. And when the identity line's doing their thing, you never have to worry about them getting scored on, and yet they're still putting out some chances and whatnot. It just lets your three other solid lines finally figure out a way how to score. And we got one out of the first and one out of the second line tonight. So the scoring was there. We got great goaltending. Like, doesn't matter if it's going to be Varley or Sorokin. We've got great goaltending. And like I said, I hope those two guys stick together for the rest of Varley's career. Anyway, I would be more than happy to have that tandem for the next 5 years. I know, I know Varley's getting old, but goaltenders sometimes, special ones anyway, can seem to go a little longer than most. All right, so let's get to defense. Wow, Adam Pelech, what a game! What a game! I mean, it just doesn't look that spectacular to most unless you enjoy watching defense, which I really do. And I got to tell you, Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Blake Wheeler have their way with most teams. I saw one part there, and unfortunately, I think Scheifele got a big injury tonight on the play too. I think it's probably going to end up being more than just hobbling off the ice late in the game tonight. I think it's going to be longer than that, but he got dipsy doodly on Adam, and Adam had him at every turn. And then Adam just finally said, well, screw this. I'm just going to hit you and pin you to the boards. And he tried a spinorama like he can get away with other teams, but you're not going to get away with that crap on Adam Pelech. And he hit him. And that's why Adam Pelech is the best defenseman in the NHL. He's just the best defenseman in the NHL. And then to go out there and get a point in the third period, that was just kind of put a cherry on top what I said in between the second and third. So Adam, another great game. And I'm gonna rave about Andy Green. Wow, so unnoticed, but that is such a fantastic thing. And he has just played so good. So good. I don't know how anybody could be unhappy with Andy Green as a 39-year-old playing defense for the New York Islanders. He looks fantastic. He really does. Looks great. If there was anybody I thought might have struggled a little bit tonight, I think it might have been Ryan Pulock. And I got a feeling that, he was trying to do a little too much tonight. He had all his family and friends out there. I don't know if you guys saw the site. Had a story about Grandview out there today. Now, one of my better friends is from Grandview, and we talk about this all the time. And he is my one Ranger fan. So, or that's a friend anyway. So, ironically, and he goes back every summer to work out in the farm, both Ryan and my friend. He goes out there and works on his dad's farm when he's out there. But Dean has told me that there are 800 New York Islander fans in that town in Manitoba. And he says he just chuckles about it, and he goes in there wearing his Ranger gear and stuff like that. But I think Adam was trying to impress those people tonight. I really do. So I think he was dealing with a little bit of nerves tonight, but I noticed Trotz put Pelly and Pulock together at the last 5 minutes or so of the game. So he knows he can get that magic when he just puts those two guys right back together. And I thought Scott Mayfield had a great game as well, showing lots of little bit of offensive flair, but just solid defense out of him. He's been playing really good. And if Andy Green was playing that great, so is Noah Dobson. Dobson's just making some great outlet passes. He was carrying the puck out. He was doing it all. So couldn't be unhappy with his game at all. As for Chara, he made a few gaffes like he normally does. One of them, he made up for it himself by breaking it up eventually. So overall, I have to be happy with Chara's game tonight because he is actually improving. I know it's not much to ask for, but hey, if he improves every game or just doesn't really hurt us, and you know what, he was well worth his weight in gold tonight when he finally put his foot down in that scrum, because things were happening with Lowry and whatnot. It already went through it with Nelson, and then Lowry was getting a little happy-go-lucky, thinking he could push everybody around, and Zdeno just basically went up to him and said, "That's it, or you're dealing with me." And you didn't see any chippy stuff the rest of the game. So, there's more than just what meets the eye out there. So Zdeno has a good effect, and as long as he doesn't hurt his bad and keeps improving from his horrific start, I'll be happy with that. I feel like I'm leaving out one defenseman here. Who am I leaving out? I talked about Green. I talked about Pullock. I talked about Mayfield. I think I talked about them all. Dobson. Yeah. Anyway, as a team, just great overall game. The structure, the details were fantastic. Ilya, our first star, again, congrats on his third shutout of the year. Just a fantastic road game. We're 9 of 13 behind us now. We're 12 points. We're close to being guaranteeing the NHL 500. We couldn't ask for much more. I did have to shake my head tonight when I saw Pajot skating down the ice, and somebody just absolutely cross-checked him from behind and put him to his knees, and no penalty. I'm going, yeah, isn't that the one you guys are kind of cracking down on this year? But I guess not. You know what? In all honesty, I'll be happy with one penalty for both teams for the rest of the season. I would be more than happy with that with the Islanders, because we're a great 5-on-5 team. We really are. So anyway, we're starting to move up the standings. We're starting to make things happen. We're starting to look like the Islanders of old. We might even start looking like a little better Islanders of old. Couldn't be happier with Zach Parise's games and everything like that. He's been awesome. So yeah, 5-2-2, pretty happy with the Isles. Big game tomorrow night in Minnesota. Minnesota had to play tonight, and they've got to fly as well. So no real advantage there for Minnesota. As a matter of fact, we probably got less distance to go to get to Minnesota than Minnesota does, except we have to deal with customs. So that can be a bit of a pain in the butt. And everybody knows, at least if you've been following the Islanders, we're always pretty darn good on the back-to-backs. So we're slowly making our way through this road trip, and we're making it through in a positive vibe. And it's going to be sweet when we return home to Belmont, and all you people in New York, you're all going to get to go to that gorgeous venue. And I hope you guys can make it as loud as you made the barn. I know that's going to be hard, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. So really a good road trip going here for us, which is kind of important because we end with a couple hard games on the road trip. So let's pile up the points now. And I want to beat Florida this time when we go back down to Florida. So that would be nice. There's still, last I saw, they were winning 4-2. So I think they're still undefeated. And now Carolina will have lost the game in regulation, but that game was about 10 minutes ago last time I checked, and now I'm doing the podcast. So yeah, let's pile up the points now. Talbot played tonight. I know Talbot plays a lot of back-to-backs and stuff like that, but hopefully we'll avoid Talbot tomorrow. That would be nice. So overall, great game, Islanders. Yeah, I think Islander fans can be nothing but happy right now with what's going. We started the season with the first 2 losses, but once again, those 2 teams were playing tonight, and neither one of them had lost a game going into tonight. So how bad was it? It was lopsided scores, sure, but that's okay. Anyway, exciting win for the Islanders. Always extra special winning on a Saturday night for me. I don't know what it is about Saturday night hockey, but I just love it. Anyway, I hope all you guys take care out there, and peace out.